There is a single state of consciousness that closes the gap between your desire and your reality. Not a method, not an affirmation, not a visualization, a state, a specific, identifiable, repeatable state that you have entered 10,000 times in your life without ever knowing what it was, and that tonight before you sleep, you are going to enter on purpose for the first time with a chosen wish, and when you wake tomorrow morning, that wish will already be moving toward you through the 3D world. This is Manifest Wealth Wisdom. Welcome back. This is day 3 of the 7-day subconscious reset. Days 1 and 2 cleared the soil. James Allen pulled the weeds. Prentice Mulford refilled the well. Tonight is the night we plant, and the master whose work guides this planting is Neville Goddard. The Barbadian mystic who in 1944, in a small New York lecture hall, taught a method so precise that it has built the foundation of every modern manifestation framework that followed. Joe Dispenza paraphrases him. Florence Scovel. Shin anticipated him. The entire law of attraction movement is, in its most honest form, footnotes on Neville. Here is the gap almost everyone in the manifestation world cannot close. You can see the dream, you can name the dream, you can visualize the dream for hours, and the dream still does not arrive. Why? Neville's answer was the single most precise diagnosis ever given to a seeker. You have been imagining from the wrong location. When you visualize your dream, when you imagine the new house, the partner, the bank account, the body you want, almost every seeker does it from outside the scene. They watch it like a movie. They see the new house from the curb. They see themselves shaking hands with the new partner. They see the bank account as though looking at someone else's screen. The viewer remains the old self, standing apart, observing the dream as though it belongs to a different person. The subconscious sees this exactly as what you just described, a wish belonging to someone else. The dream remains over there. The viewer remains over here. And the gap between them never closes because you yourself have built the gap with your own imagination. Neville's correction was breathtaking in its simplicity. You must enter the scene. You must imagine from inside, the wish fulfilled, not from the curb looking at the house, but from inside the house looking out at your garden. Not from across the room watching the embrace, but from inside the body of the one being embraced, smelling their hair. Not from outside the bank screen, but from inside the eyes seeing the number. The dreamer must become the dreamed. This was Neville's first law, and the only place in the human nervous system where that transfer naturally happens, automatically, every single night, whether you want it to or not, is in the doorway between waking and sleep. Neville named this doorway with a phrase that sounds technical, but is the most important phrase in a modern manifestation. He called it SATS, the state akin to sleep. The state akin to sleep is the drowsy, half-conscious threshold you cross every night just before you fall asleep. The state where the body is heavy, but the mind is still soft enough to be directed. the state in which the subconscious door is wide open and the conscious mind has stopped guarding it. This state lasts only a few minutes per night. Most people sleep through it entirely. Tonight, you are going to use it on purpose. Tonight, over the next 30 minutes, you will choose one wish, construct what Neville called the end scene, a short, simple, vivid scene that implies the wish is already fulfilled. Drop into the state akin to sleep, and then enter the scene from inside. You will live the end, feel the end, sleep in the end, and when you wake tomorrow morning, the subconscious will already have begun rearranging the 3D world to confirm what it spent the night believing. Neville delivered this teaching publicly, hundreds of times between 1944 and his death in 1972. He insisted in every single lecture that imagining creates reality. Not imagining helps reality. Not imagining attracts reality. Imagining creates it. The world you see when you open your eyes tomorrow morning is the world your imagination painted the night before. Tonight, you are going to paint it deliberately. For the first time, lie still now. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Take 3 slow breaths. The lighthouse is being lit. Before we begin the protocol, you should know one thing about the man whose work you are about to live tonight. Neville Goddard was born in Barbados in 1905. He left the island at 17, sailed to New York to become a dancer, and for a decade he lived the small, uncertain life of an immigrant theatrical performer. And then, in 1933, he met a man named Abdullah, a black Ethiopian Jewish mystic living in Harlem. Neville studied with him for 5 years. He learned, sitting at Abdullah's kitchen table, the precise inner mechanics of how imagination becomes reality. By 1944, Neville was filling lecture halls across New York. By the 1950s, he was on national radio. By the 1960s, his lectures had been recorded and transcribed by his students and distributed underground for decades. He died in 1972, and for the next 40 years, his work was almost completely forgotten until the manifestation revival of the 2000s rediscovered him. Almost every modern teacher you have ever heard who speaks about the assumption, the wish fulfilled, feeling is the secret, or live in the end, is paraphrasing Neville Goddard, usually without crediting him. Tonight, you go directly to the source. No filter, no paraphrase. The 3 laws. Neville's entire teaching distills to 3 laws. Memorize them. They are the foundation of everything we are about to do. Law 1. Imagination creates reality. Not influences, not attracts, creates. The world you experience as a solid 3D life is the projection of inner imaginal acts performed by you days or weeks or years ago without your awareness. To change the projection, you must change the imaginal act. And the imaginal act is performed not with the eyes, but with the feeling. Law 2. Feeling is a secret. Neville said this on countless occasions, and he meant it precisely. The scene you imagine is not the manifestation engine. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the engine. You can picture the dream for hours and feel nothing, and nothing will move. You can picture the dream for 30 seconds and feel the unmistakable, settled relief of having already received, and the manifestation has begun. The image is the vehicle. The feeling is the fuel. Law 3. The state akin to sleep is the magic doorway. Of all the states of consciousness available to a human being in a 24-hour day, only one is wide open to direct subconscious programming: the drowsy threshold just before sleep. Everywhere else, your conscious mind is on guard. Here, the conscious mind has loosened. Whatever feeling you fall asleep in becomes the operating instruction of your subconscious for the next 8 hours. And the subconscious, Neville insisted on this, is the only thing that actually arranges your reality. Your conscious mind is a passenger. Your subconscious is the driver. Tonight you give the driver new directions. The day 3 motif of this 7-day reset is the lighthouse, and there is a precise reason. The lighthouse does not chase the ships. The lighthouse does not move toward the shore. The lighthouse stands in one position and emits one steady, repeating signal. And every ship within range of that signal corrects its course toward the light, not because the lighthouse is willing them, because they cannot help it. This is exactly how Neville described the relationship between an assumed end scene and the events of the next day. Assume the state of the wish fulfilled, and the events of your life will rearrange themselves to confirm it. You do not push the events. You do not chase the events. You stand in the state like a lighthouse stands in its tower, and the events come. The protocol we will follow tonight has 5 stages. Memorize them so you can return without me on future nights. Stage 1, choose one wish, only one. Tonight is not a wish list tonight. The full power of Sahet's works on a single chosen end. We will spend 3 minutes selecting it. Stage 2, construct the end scene. Together, we will build a short, simple, vivid scene that implies the wish is already fulfilled. Not a montage, a scene, 12 to 30 seconds long. Something specific enough that it could not happen unless the wish were already true. Stage 3, drop into Sats. We will lower you into the drowsy threshold, using a specific breath pattern Neville himself recommended. Stage 4, enter the scene from inside, not watching, not visualizing, being in the scene, with all 5 senses available from the body of the wish-fulfilled self. Stage 5, sleep in the assumption, carry the feeling across the threshold. The subconscious receives it as truth. The lighthouse stands lit through the night. Are you ready? 3 slow breaths. We begin. Let your eyes close fully now. If they are not already closed, let your jaw soften. Let your shoulders fall down away from your ears. Breathe in through your nose for 4 counts and release through your mouth for 6 counts, 2 breath cycles. Gently bring to mind one wish, not the whole list, not the dream board. One, the one that, if it were given to you tomorrow morning, would change everything else downstream. The one whose arrival you can feel the weight of even now. The one your heart has been quietly asking for weeks or months or years. Do not strain to choose. The wish that comes first is the wish. Trust it. You have your one wish. Hold it gently in your awareness. Do not analyze it. Do not justify it. Do not check whether it is spiritual enough or deserving enough. Neville taught, and was insistent on this, that any wish you can genuinely feel into is a legitimate wish. The desire itself is evidence that the seed exists. Tonight we plant it. Now we build the scene. Neville called it the end. A short, simple, vivid moment that implies the wish is already fulfilled. The whole point of an end scene is to be the smallest possible scene that could only happen if the larger wish were already true. Let me give you examples first, so the principle is clear. If your wish is the new home, the end scene is not the entire home, the moving trucks, the friends celebrating. It is the single moment of you turning the key in the front door for the first time and feeling the door open under your hand. That moment in isolation could only happen if you owned the home. The whole wish is implied in that one act. If your wish is the beloved partner, the end scene is not the wedding, the years together, the children. It is the moment of feeling their hand inside yours as you walk together and feeling their thumb gently stroke your palm. That moment in isolation could only happen if they were already yours. If your wish is the wealth, the end scene is not the business empire, the office, the investments. It is the single moment of looking down at your phone, seeing a notification of the deposit, and feeling the unmistakable, settled relief of it is here. That moment in isolation could only happen if the money were already received. The scene is small. The scene is sensory. The scene is felt, not seen. Now build yours. Take a full minute. Find the smallest possible moment that implies your wish is already fulfilled. Find the gesture. Find the touch. Find the look on the face. Find the words being said. Find the object being held. Find the single scene that could only happen if the larger truth were already real. you have your scene. Hold it lightly in awareness. Now we lower you into the state akin to sleep. This is the doorway. Neville insisted this state was the only place subconscious programming actually takes hold, and he gave precise instructions for entering it. We will follow them now. Breathe in slowly through your nose for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it gently for 2. And release through your mouth for 8 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Each exhale is longer than each inhale. Each exhale tells the body the day is over. And again. Inhale 6. Hold 2. Release 8. Let the body grow heavier with each exhale. Let the limbs fall fully into the bed. Let the head sink. Let the eyes settle into stillness behind the lids. You will begin to feel the threshold, a slight floating sensation, a slight loosening of the conscious mind, as though you could fall asleep right now if you let yourself. That is exactly the state you want. Not asleep, almost asleep. Hold that edge. Stay right there. This is the state akin to sleep. This is the doorway. Whatever feeling you carry through this doorway in the next 20 minutes becomes law in your subconscious, and the subconscious is the only thing that arranges your reality. Inside the state, akin to sleep, now we enter the scene, not watching, not visualizing from outside, being inside it. If your scene is the front door, you are not at the curb looking at the door. You are standing on the threshold, your hand on the key, the metal warm beneath your fingers. You feel the slight click of the lock turning. You feel the door yield against your push. You feel your own breath catch as the door swings open. The home is yours. If your scene is the partner, you are not watching them from across the room. You are walking. Their hand is in yours. You can feel the temperature of their skin. You can feel the gentle pressure of their thumb on your palm. You can feel your own steps fall into rhythm with theirs. They are yours. Your scene is the deposit. You are not looking at the screen as a stranger. You are looking at your phone with your own hand. You can feel the slight weight of the device. You can see the number. You feel somewhere just below your throat. The unmistakable settled relief of it is here. enter your scene now. Step inside the body of the wish-fulfilled self. Take a full breath in the body of that self. Notice how the breath feels different. Slower, fuller, completely unhurried. The body of someone who has already received does not breathe like the body of someone who is still reaching. And now, Neville's secret. The single instruction that separates seekers who manifest from seekers who do not. Feel the feeling, not the picture, not the visualization, the feeling, the exact emotion of the wish-fulfilled self in this moment. Find it in your chest, find it in your shoulders, find it in your breath. Most often, it is a quiet, settled wholeness, not a loud excitement, not jumping joy. The deep, almost boring sense of course this is true, of course it is here, this is simply how things are now. That feeling is the manifestation engine. Find it now, and let it grow. Pause, 25 seconds. Notice, and stay with this, that the feeling of the wish-fulfilled self is not the feeling of wanting. Wanting is a different feeling. Wanting has an edge of reaching. The wish-fulfilled state has no reach at all, because there is nothing to reach for. The thing is already here. You have crossed the gap. This is the only inner work that has ever moved a reality. Everything else, the affirmations, the visualizations, the vision boards, is rehearsal for this. Tonight, you do not rehearse. You perform the actual act. Now we loop the scene. Neville taught that the end scene should be replayed exactly the same 3 to 7 times in a row. Each replay deepens the feeling. Each replay lays down another track in the subconscious. By the 5th replay, the scene begins to feel more real than the bed beneath you. That is when you know it is taken. Replay the scenes now, from the beginning of the gesture to the end, once. Again, from the beginning, feel the feeling. Let the feeling deepen. Again, each detail more present. The temperature, the breath, the weight, the sound. And again, by now the scene should feel less like imagination and more like memory, as though it has already happened, as though you are simply remembering tomorrow morning. Stay there. Notice how the body has changed. The chest is wider. The breath is slower. The shoulders have fallen. There's a quietness in the throat. This is the chemistry of the wish-fulfilled self. Memorize it. The subconscious is recording the signature in real time. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, your body will already be carrying it. We drift. The work is done. The scene has been played. The feeling has been generated. The subconscious is already holding the new instruction. All that remains is to fall asleep without losing the feeling. Neville called this sleeping in the assumption. The exact feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not the scene, not the visualization, just the felt sense, is what you carry across the threshold. As consciousness lowers, the feeling stays. As the mind softens, the feeling stays. As you cross from waking into sleep, the feeling stays. The lighthouse is lit. It will stand all night. Every event of tomorrow will navigate toward its signal. Repeat softly in your heart 3 times. I am the one who has already received. I am the one who has already received. I am the one who has already received. I am is Neville's most sacred phrase. It is, he taught, the name of God, the inner identity, through which every imaginal act becomes real. Whatever follows the words, I am, becomes the state of the soul. Tonight, I am the one who has already received, becomes the state of your soul for the next 8 hours, and the subconscious arranges accordingly. One acknowledgement before we close. Neville was not alone in his time. Decades earlier, another mystic, a Chicago businessman named Charles Haanel, taught the same law in different language. In 1912, Haanel wrote a course of letters called the Master Key System, and one of those letters contains a sentence that could have been written by Neville himself. You can only entertain such conditions as you have made yourself receptive to. Same teaching, different mouth. Tonight you have done the work both Haanel and Neville were trying to give the world. Charles Haanel co-signs this day 3. He is your day 4 shadow when we meet Genevieve Behrend tomorrow night. Behrend studied under Thomas Troward, who Haanel quoted, who taught what Neville taught. The whole tradition is one tradition. You are simply walking through it, night by night. The scene is planted, the feeling is held, the state, akin to sleep, has received the assumption. The lighthouse stands lit through the night. The 3D world is now rearranging. It is done. It is done. It is done. This was day 3 of the 7-day subconscious reset. Day 1 cleansed the soil, James Allen. Day 2 refilled the well, Prentice Mulford. Tonight, day 3, Neville Goddard, we planted the seed. Tomorrow night, day 4, we strengthen the seed with Genevieve Behrend's visualization work. The arc is unfolding. If you want to do this practice every night, for the full 7 nights with a pen in your hand, the Subconscious Lock Workbook is in the description. 7 days, 7 masters, 7 rituals. Tonight's protocol, Neville Goddard's assumption, and the state akin to sleep, is day 3 of the workbook. Each day stacks on the previous. By day 7, with Florence Scovel's shin, the work seals permanently. And if you want to identify which assumption your subconscious is currently holding, the hidden belief that may be running counter to your wish, the free 60-second Mindset Reset quiz is in the description. It diagnoses your existing assumption in under a minute. I personally use it. The link is first in the description. Subscribe and turn on the bell. Tomorrow night, I will be back with day 4. Genevieve Barron. The seed will deepen, the lighthouse will stand, and we will be one night closer to the master seal. Sleep in the assumption, wake in the answer.